Hey everybody, what's up? I wanted to talk with you about something you can get from this event that is incredibly valuable, but also kind of easy to waste the value in. And I want to make sure that you don't do that. So I want to give you a little bit of perspective on the item and kind of how and when to use it, all right? So the thing that I'm talking about is in the coin shop event, if we go down to the bottom here, we've got these rune set fixes for each of the 3 dungeons, okay? And I was wrong about what I thought this was before the event went live. Now that it's gone live, I know obviously what it is. So what it is, you'll pop it, and for an hour, you get to select the rune set that drops from whatever dungeon you're farming. So for example, let's say I pop the one for Giants and I say Swift. For the next hour, the only runes that are gonna drop from Giants are Swift runes, okay? You can see why this could be very valuable at any stage of the game, to be honest. But again, it's also kind of easy to waste the value. So I want to make sure that you don't. So I've grabbed one so we can look at it real quick. It's gonna sit in your inbox until 6/18, January, February, March, April, May, June 18th. So for the duration of the event. So a little over 2 months from now. So you've got plenty of time, okay? You don't need to be in a hurry to use these things, especially if you're brand new. And I'm mostly talking to the newer players here. This is one of those things that you're gonna see and you're gonna think, oh, this is great. I can get some more Swift runes in my account. And maybe you don't have your GB12 team sorted yet. Maybe you do have a team sorted, but it's taking 4.5 minutes to clear. You're gonna get a lot more out of this thing if your runs are faster. So I've got a video, I'll card to it up there, for a pretty early game GB12 speed team. It's a matter of getting your Sath 2 aid, getting your second melee fused. It's not that hard. You can get it done in your first week and a half of the game. It's not super gear intensive. And if you focus it, you can get it done very quickly, okay? You wanna have that done before you use the ticket for Giants. So if we click use here, like I said, we get to pick whatever set we want, and then that's a set that drops for an hour. So again, you could see why if your runs are a minute, this is so much more valuable than if your runs are 4 minutes, okay? You're gonna get a lot more out of it. And for Giants specifically, it's so easy to get a fast team going. There's no reason not to do that first. You've got, again, 2 months to get that sorted, and it's something you can do in a matter of days if you focus the attention to it, okay? 100% success rate, a minute-ish, minute 20 clear times, and again, no reason not to do it. With the other 2 dungeons, it gets a little bit more, a little bit cloudier. But for Giants, I would say 100% don't use these things until you've got that team sorted out, okay? Now, as far as which set to use, there's really no wrong answer. There's really no wrong answer, but some sets are certainly better than others. So for Giants, Swift, you're gonna need some pretty high quality Swift sets. There are a handful of monsters in the game that you are just gonna need to be fast. And Swift set is gonna be the way to make that happen. So maybe you're building your Bernard, maybe you're building a Megan for a booster, maybe you've got a, like me, I pulled a Tiana pretty early in the account. There are quite a few monsters in the game that are gonna do very well on Swift sets. Swift sets are very popular. And you're gonna need to farm a lot of Swift sets because in most cases, if a Swift set doesn't have a speed substat, it's not doing you any good. Now, there are reappraisal stones, so don't automatically sell legendary Swift set runes because they don't have speed. But you're going to go through a lot of Swift runes to find the quality ones with the double and triple and quad speed rolls. So Swift is a very good choice here. Despair can be a very good choice here too. This can be a little bit more dictated by who you've pulled, but there are quite a few monsters that can do very well on Despair. And again, you're going to need some high quality Despair sets, especially if you want to participate in RTA or Arena. It can also be really good in PvE. Despair is just a solid set. So Blade, Fatal, and Energy are great sets. And if you feel like there's a hole in your account of any of these 3 sets, then of course they're not wrong either. They're going to be useful as well. But I think the 1 and 2 here are Swift and Despair. So if you're earlier in the game and you're unsure about what rune sets to go for here and you're looking for a little bit of guidance, that's my recommendation, okay? Dragon, it's a little bit easier in my opinion. I think the clear-cut winner here is Violent. You're gonna need so many Violent sets. You're gonna need so many Violent sets. You literally cannot have too many good Violent runes. So I think Violent is the clear-cut winner here. This is one, again, that I would hang on to for a little bit because it's kind of hard to get a reliable dragon team down, and it's even harder to get a reliable speed dragon team down. So I'll card to the reliable dragon team that I have, but it's kind of slow. Can we see our speed if we go into a battle screen? I'm trying to remember where I can go to see my speeds. Anyway, it's like 3.5 minutes, 3.5 to 4 minutes maybe. And it's fine in everyday life for now because it's consistent, but we ultimately do want to work towards something faster. And in my case, I have my Verd 6-starred, I have my 3 Ikaru 6-starred, and I have one of them nearly done on Second Awaken, and the other 2 are ready to go. So I'm putting all the pieces together for my dragon speed team. So I will hang on to these tickets until I get that sorted, right? I've got 2 months. So it may not be something that happens in the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's a little bit more gear intensive. It's going to be tough, but it is something that I'll have done in the next 2 months for sure. So I'm going to hang on to those tickets. As bad as I would like to spend them and farm Violent runes specifically, I'm going to hang on to them and wait till that's done, because I'm going to squeeze so much more value out of that 3 hours ultimately that I'm going to get, because you can buy 3 tickets for each dungeon, right? So it's 3 hours. You want to squeeze all the value out of that you can, because I don't know how often they do this. I don't know if this is something they created for the 9th anniversary event, or if this is something they've done before. Like I said, I've only been back for a couple of months. I think I'm in my 2nd month now, and I've been gone for a couple of years. So I don't know if these are things they've done before, if they're things they'll do again, or if it's just something they made for the event. But either way, you want to try to pack as much value into them as you can, because they don't do them all the time. This is the first time I've seen them since I've been back. So I'm gonna wait till I get that sorted. So again, I would say if you're just in a hurry and you want to use one, go ahead and use one. I would save at least 2 for when you have a speed team sorted for this though, okay? Because that's where you're really gonna get the most value out of it. And then for Necro, honestly, I almost got my first 12 clear earlier. I have been very distracted with other stuff, so I have not been focusing Necro like I should have. But honestly, I think by the time you are farming Necro 12, also don't use them at all. Don't use the tickets at all if you're not clearing 12. If you're not farming 12, there's no reason to use them. You do not want an hour of 5 and 6-star runes. Okay, you want an hour of 6-star runes. So don't use them if you're not farming 12. By the time you're farming Necro 12, you probably have a pretty good idea about what your account's missing and what your account's gonna need from this dungeon. I think Will, for anyone that's curious, is probably the winner here, but these are all pretty valuable sets. Granted, some of them can be a little bit more niche. You won't use Destroy on as wide of a scale as you will something like Will set or Violent set, but when you use Destroy, it is going to be very important that those runes are good. Nemesis is kind of the same way. You're not going to use it all the time, but when you do use it, it's going to be very impactful, so you need those runes to be high quality, okay? So by the time you're doing this, you probably know where the hole is in your account. Maybe your Lucian isn't quite clearing the waves like you need him to, and a rage set would solve that for you, or something. You know what I mean? Like you'll have a general idea. But if you're for some reason still curious and you need a little bit of insight, I think Will never be a mistake. I think farming Will runes will never be a mistake. You're going to put Will runes on so many monsters when it's all said and done. It's kind of like Violent. You really can't have too many Will runes, all right? And the quality of them can never be high enough. So that's my thoughts on the sets. If you needed a little guidance on the sets and you're in the earlier game, maybe in the mid game and still kind of getting a grasp on everything, that's that. And then again, the big thing I want you to take away from this is don't be in a hurry to use those tickets. You've got 2 months to get it all sorted out and use them. Definitely 100%. There's no reason to use them for giants until you've got your double Melia team sorted. And if you want a quick look at it, it's like this. One of them's not even 6-starred. None of the stats here are crazy. It's not crazy runes. The grindiest part of it is getting your Sath 2-aid, and Tattoo doesn't even have to be 2-aid. It'll help, but she doesn't have to be 2-aid, okay? The big thing here is getting the 2 Melias. Vera's here for safety. Sath is increasing the dot damage, and then there's a couple of stat requirements you have to hit. But again, if you really want to make it happen, you can make it happen in your first week of the game. So get it done, and then use your tickets for giants, okay? This is fast enough to justify using them. Dragons, I would not be in a huge hurry. I would hold on to it for a little bit. If you're getting to the, if you're a week away from the end of the event and you have not even started working on a speed team for dragons yet, then go ahead and use it, even if your runs are 4 minutes long. You know what I mean? Like, definitely don't let them go to waste, but try to not use them till you get a speed team sorted. All right. I mean, even if you can get sub 3 minutes, it doesn't have to be a minute dungeon run, but if you can get like sub 3 minutes, that's going to be so much better than 4+. All right. And then again, by the time you're doing Necro, you kind of know what's up, I would say. So that's it. I hope this helps, gives you a little bit of perspective. I know that there's a lot going on, and there's already a lot to learn if you're newer, and now the 9th anniversary stuff is going on, and there's like 14 different tabs in here you've got to keep up with, and I understand just feeling overwhelmed, and I think this is one of those things that would be easy to kind of miss the bigger picture, kind of overlook the potential value, and just think it's a thing for you to use. And I think these things are a little bit more important than that. I think they're a little bit more valuable than something you need to just pop when you get them. So hopefully this saves a few of you from wasting them. If you've got any other tips you'd like to drop below or anything, I would appreciate it, as I'm sure would everyone else. And that's it. I'm getting out of here. Hope it was helpful, and we'll see you later.